Hi guys, it's Lori Seeley, functional medicine health coach, and today I wanted to talk to you about Candida and its relationship to autoimmunity. So, I'm in a couple Candida support groups here on Facebook, and I've noticed some people talking about how they're dealing with their Candida, and it sounds to me like they're more like living with, like, they're thinking of it as a disease, and they're like living with this disease and not really trying to fight it and get rid of it, and they're just making themselves more comfortable than they would be, like trying to manage their symptoms rather than getting rid of the candida overgrowth that they have. So now for me, like, I can understand why someone would do that, like if they just don't know some of the really, really harmful effects that candida can have on you. So it can cause so many other things to go wrong in your body that actually are far more uncomfortable than just the candida and actually can lead to death. So today we're going to talk about autoimmunity, and I'm hoping that if you're one of those people who just sort of um, are managing it, that you kind of get inspired today to actually fight it. And if you're a fighter, awesome. I love fighters, and you can use this as something else to add to your why. And possibly you're one of the people who has already gotten an autoimmune condition, and this might shed some light for you as to how that happened. So I'm just hoping to help you to understand. This is just for educational purposes, just to understand how all these things are related. So first, we're going to talk about candida in its fungal form and how it causes intestinal permeability. Now, this is when candida it turns fungal and it's overgrown in the gut, and it can cause intestinal permeability. So what that is leaky gut. So this just happens. You can just assume if you have a candida overgrowth, you also have intestinal permeability or leaky gut. Okay, and so what that is okay, so let me explain how the gut is supposed to function. Okay, your gut is supposed to function in a way that only digested food can seep through the intestinal lining and into your blood. Okay, so that's not food as food, it's food as tiny little particles of glucose or a protein. Okay, so it's not like a chunk of broccoli, right? So when you have intestinal permeability, that is when your gut has sort of holes in it that are bigger than they're supposed to be. And that's going to allow things like bread, broccoli, cheese, whatever it is that you eat, that's going to go through before it's fully digested, before that broccoli breaks down into what makes it up and that gets digested, or like you eat an egg and that's protein and stuff. So that before it's protein, while it's still just an egg, like that hasn't been broken down into its parts yet, it gets seeped in from your gut to your blood. And then that little chunk of food is like floating around in your blood, and it creates inflammation all over your body because it's in your blood. It's going to flow throughout your body. And then your body sees it as a foreign invader and it will attack it. And that's why the inflammation. And sometimes if you ever notice that you eat certain foods, like it's probably going to be foods that you kind of eat frequently. When you eat, you get like a headache, or you get joint pain, or you get an upset stomach, or any of these things, like you kind of start to feel feverish, or anything hurts, back pain, neck pain. That can be because of leaky gut, because your body's attacking those things in your body. Okay, so that's leaky gut. So now I'm going to try and explain to you how leaky gut can actually lead to autoimmunity. So I'm going to use the example of Hashimoto's. So Hashimoto's is an autoimmune condition regarding the thyroid. So that's where your body actually attacks its own thyroid. Okay? So how does this happen? Right. Okay. So gluten, the molecule, the protein gluten looks very similar to thyroid hormone. And so if you have leaky gut and you're getting big chunks of bread into your body and your body, or whatever it is that you eat that has gluten in it, and your body's attacking that, then it's gonna recognize gluten as something that keeps coming back, keeps coming back, keeps coming back, and it's gonna attack it harder and harder and harder each time it sees it. Because it's like, this virus isn't going away. I have to do more. I have to attack it harder. See? And then even when then like once that happens, even times when you're not eating bread or you are eating bread or pasta, whatever, gluten, then your body is going to see your thyroid hormone and it's going to see, oh my gosh, this gluten has been transformed. You know how like viruses transform and your body will still recognize it as a foreign invader and kind of know this virus is similar to this. You know how the flu virus like comes back differently every year, right? It's kind of like that. Your body will, it's used to those things. It's built for that. And it's going to see, oh, this gluten, this thyroid hormone rather, looks very much like this gluten thing that I've been attacking. So I'm going to attack it too. And then your body starts attacking your thyroid. And then after a while, you build up antibodies to your thyroid, which is not cool. And so this is one of many ways that autoimmunity can be caused in your body. So there are some things that we know these disease names, but we don't realize that it's autoimmune. So I'm going to list some of them for you: lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, Crohn's disease, celiac disease, multiple sclerosis, and the list goes on and on and on. So I'm sure you can see how important it is to really repair your gut after killing your Candida overgrowth. That's what you need to do, because for sure you want to avoid these autoimmune conditions, right? And they are completely avoidable if you know how, okay? So I'm going to tell you something about me. I didn't learn about leaky gut and how to really repair it until my first class at the School of Applied Functional Medicine. So I was like, I started going to that school both because I wanted to learn more about gut health and because I wanted to use functional medicine in my practice, but also because I still was having Candida symptoms and I felt like I was doing everything that I found to do. And I just wasn't completely there yet. And my first class at the School of Applied Functional Medicine, I learned that my couple years of strange symptoms after I felt like I had beat the Candida were caused by two things. One being heavy metals, which I'll talk about that part another day, and the other was leaky gut, because I had pretty much taken care of the Candida thing, but I was gaining weight suddenly. Like I was on that Candida diet for a couple of years and I was my thinnest that I had been since high school and feeling so great. And then I started gaining weight. I gained like 10 pounds, like really fast. And I was constipated all the time and I was tired. And so as part of a class, I did a stool test and a food sensitivity test. And they both showed leaky gut and an immense sensitivity to eggs. Oh my goodness. And you probably know on the anti-Candida diet, you eat a lot of eggs because you're hungry all the time and eggs have protein and eggs help that hunger issue, right? So I was eating so many eggs and I still hadn't repaired my leaky gut because the doctor that I was seeing then, I don't know if he just didn't think it was important. It's so important. It was like the number one thing for me towards the tail end of killing the Candida. You really have to do a lot of gut repair. And so now I haven't had eggs in a little over a year. I've had some mistakes where I sort of eat an egg on accident. Like you can forget, you know? And so there was one time when I went out for sushi and I forgot that that tamago thing was an egg, and I had diarrhea for 3 days after that. And this virus was going around. I caught that too, because just inflammation everywhere. It was awful. And I was sick for like 2 weeks. And it was not worth eating an egg. Oh my gosh, it just wasn't. Not worth it at all. And then, yeah, but other times that I eat something that sort of has egg in it that I don't realize or I don't think about it, like my head just isn't turned on, then I'll just be constipated for a couple of days. But if I eat a real egg, which I didn't do for such a long time, it's a horrible thing. Just horrible, gross story. So no eggs for me. So for me, the biggest help that I got with repairing my leaky gut was I drank this thing called Ninja Red. It's from Young Living, and it's a beautiful wolfberry juice that has immunosupportive essential oils in it, and it's so great. And guess what, you guys? Berries are allowed on the Candida diet as long as you keep it down to a little, you know, not too much a day, like half a cup. And these are, you drink 2 ounces of it twice a day, like in the morning and at night on an empty stomach. And it's awesome. And for me, I did it for about 4 months, and it repaired my leaky gut and improved my dry skin. And it was just like the best thing that I've ever done for myself. So great. So, okay, I just wanted to share this with you guys today. I want you to know I have so been through this Candida thing, the diet. I had yeast infections for years, like recurring yeast infections, until I had an infection that did not go away for 12 months. Not even kidding. I spent a week during those 12 months, I spent a week at Disney with it was raging. It was like the worst itch ever, and I couldn't scratch it. It was awful. And here I am trying to be like, yay, Minnie Mouse. Oh my gosh, it was not good. And I made a lot of missteps while I was fighting my Candida. I was eating some of the wrong things that I found out later they were actually feeding my Candida. I took diflucan for months, only to have the Candida come back stronger than ever when I had to stop the diflucan, because it's really bad for your liver, right? And then after finding those last few pieces of the puzzle at the School of Applied Functional Medicine, I feel better than I have since my early 20s. And I can help you guys get over this too. So I'm putting a link by this video to schedule for you a free Kill Candida and Repair Your Gut session with me. Now, this is something that I usually charge about $247 for this session, and I'm offering it free to you guys. And so here's what we'll do in the session. We'll talk about the exact steps to kill Candida for good, and we'll see also if we're a good fit to work together, okay? So I have 3 open spots in my practice right now, and they're gonna go really fast. So go ahead and book your call today, okay? And I also have a link in here to this week's blog post that's all about food sensitivities and autoimmunity. All right, so that's it from me today, you guys. Thanks for coming. And oh, if you're watching this in the replay, which most of you will be, please write comments in there, ask me questions. I'm going to be checking back up in here, okay? But make sure to tag me in the questions so that I'm sure to answer your questions. So I'm sure to see it there, and then I'll get back to you and I'll answer, okay? I'm here to support you. Okay, have a great rest of your day. Bye.